All right, Growlers fans, welcome back inside the Bear Cave. We're here with 2018 Growler and Joe Boyle. And first off, Joe, we're really glad to have you on.
Yeah. Glad to be here.
So you start off your career at Notre Dame, your freshman season, don't get a ton of opportunities. You go to the Cape and find a lot of opportunities there.
Right.
And you come to KZoo. In a matter of a year, you go from Kentucky to South Bend to Cape Cod, Massachusetts, over to Kalamazoo, Michigan. What was that, moving around like?
I mean, that was crazy. I moved around a lot growing up, so I guess I was kind of used to packing up and going different places. But it was a good way to just like kind of get introduced to college ball, summer ball, and then like I guess what would be pro ball in the future so it was a good opportunity. I was glad that I was able to play at so many different places in that short time period.
So you come to KZoo, and your second appearance ever as a part of a Growler, you throw the fastest pitch in Northwoods League history, 102 miles an hour. One person I've heard from, it's 103.1 apparently to Cody. It's gone back and forth. Either way, fastest pitch in Northwoods League history. I mean, you come out guns a-blazing off the bat. What was that like for you?
It was good. I mean, I was coming off a pretty up and down time in the Cape, and I guess during the season at Notre Dame. And so when I got there, I talked to Cody, and he was like, hey, yeah, you're just gonna pitch. We got a good team. Like, we're making a playoff push. Like, you got a good arm. Like, we need you. So he was like, no matter what, like, we're just gonna send you out there, and you're gonna pitch. So I think that level of like, I don't know, like maybe that level of security like was what I needed at that time, where it was like, hey, you're just gonna work on stuff, and like we're gonna keep giving you opportunities, and then it just kind of gave me the freedom to go chuck it. Really, that was probably all I needed in that moment. So
you come in, again, you were going into a playoff push for this group, trying to get their first playoff appearance the Growlers had ever seen. What do you feel your role was going into that first moment? How comfortable were you in that role?
I didn't have a lot of time to think about it. I just jumped right into it. It was interesting because like I never really pitched any like big moments up until then. Like at Notre Dame, like we got eliminated from the ACC tournament. High school, I think I had like a back sprain or something right before playoffs, so like I missed an outing there. So like I never like was able to. I never really pitched in like a huge situation, and then I did it that first playoff game though in Kenosha, I think, and it was interesting. Like it was new for me, and like I was at a point though where I was stringing together some good outings, and like I just kept going with it. I really didn't think about it. I tried not to think about it too much because I just knew that like I needed the experience, and whatever was going to happen was going to happen.
I want to get more into that Kenosha moment here in just a little bit, but first off, you come in, and in 2 weeks you're going to the Major League Dream Showcase, and you're in front of scouts at a huge, different ballpark like that. What was that experience like to you to see so many different radar guns coming out and trying to show what you can do?
I did some of that in high school. Like I did like the perfect game stuff and like the All-American games in high school, so I was kind of used to it. But it was good. It was like, because it was at Madison, which is like such an electric atmosphere, and like it wasn't even a real game, and it was still packed, and like people were loud and stuff. So that was cool. I definitely remember being pretty amped up for that. But yeah, I think that kind of gave me, or that kind of put me back on the map a little bit with teams. Like they saw me throw the ball pretty well. I was in the zone. I was throwing really hard then too. So like, it was just like a good opportunity that just like worked out for me. The timing worked out.
So with Kalamazoo and with the Northwoods League, you're traveling so much, a 72-game season for those who are there the entire year. What were some of the most fun experiences you had on bus rides or going around different places for you? Again, it's always, the camaraderie always builds throughout those experiences.
Yeah, I wasn't there for the full season, the full Northwoods season, although I heard from all those guys there, like, yeah, it's a grind. And so the few weeks that I was there, though, like, I think that travel and that schedule that they used to have then was harder than any of the minor league schedule that I've played with, because I've been on like the 6-game series schedule since I got into pro ball. I never had the old one, and so that was probably the toughest travel and just schedule I've played with like a 3-game series and stuff like that. But it was good. It was good. Like I think I learned how to play Mafia that summer. I think that like a lot of guys they would bring beer on the bus like on the way back from games and stuff like that. So that was it was a blast. I was with two of my teammates from Notre Dame. I was with Jared Miller and Nico Cavadas. So like I knew those guys going into it, and we just had a blast.
So you talk about that stack team in 2018 between Matt Burbis, Nico Cavalas. I mean, so many different guys. Dylan Shockley's on that group as well. Right. I mean, it was a really, really deep team. What was it like playing with some All-Americans and some future guys that are getting major league opportunities right now?
I didn't even know. I showed up. I knew we were good. Like everyone was talking about, we were good. We had a lot of Power 5 guys, but yeah, it's kind of crazy to see how that team's like taken off and gone in different directions. And like I know like Mervis is killing it. I know Nico finished in AAA last year. So many of those guys are just really go incredible places with their career. So it was cool to see that. And like when we cross paths every once in a while, it's cool to see a guy I played with, like know somebody on the other team. So yeah, I'm glad that I had the opportunity.
You mentioned your experience in Kalamazoo and what you did on the mound, which was incredible. Outside of one bump, you had 7 innings without giving up a run. You struck out 14, nearly half the batters that you faced that entire summer. Let's get to Kenosha. Let's get to that big moment.
Yeah.
First playoff game the Growlers had ever had in 5 seasons that they were there. You come into the 9th inning to shut it down. Bases loaded, 2 outs, and you find a way out of it in a roaring, historic Simmons Field. Take us through that. What was that like? A long time ago, but what was that like for you?
It was new. It was loud. I remember being very loud. I think the stands are kind of structured where like it feels like all the fans are right on top of you, and like it echoes too, so it feels like there's way more people there than there are. I do distinctly remember that outing. There's a lot of ones that like I'll forget or like kind of blend together, but that one I remember. I remember my poor catcher couldn't see. I think it was like there wasn't a very good batter's eye and it was late. So I was throwing pitches and like I think they might have been down the middle and he could barely see it and he was barely catching it. And like I probably missed a few calls just because like the poor guy had a hard time seeing. But yeah, it was I remember it was a tough one too. I think I walked like 2 guys or something like that and like gave up a single and then like maybe got like a strikeout and fly out or something like that.
Yeah,
so it was
fly
cool.
out to end it. It was a strike. It was a walk, a single. You got a strikeout on the back end and ended off with a fly out after another strikeout in between.
So it was crazy. It was a crazy outing. I remember being like really tired the next day too because it's so emotionally taxing as well. But it's something that I'm going to take with me probably the rest of my life. Just like that first taste of like a big moment, and hopefully like I get a lot more of those in my career.
So after that year, you were ranked the #1 overall prospect outside of the Northwoods League coming after that big year. You go into 2 years later, heading into 2020, COVID shuts down essentially your entire season.
Right.
You're still looking at draft opportunities. What was that development like, figuring out where you're going to be, if you're going to go anywhere after that kind of year?
Wasn't anything. Couldn't do anything, They told us, like everybody probably has the same story. They told you to be ready. And I kept throwing and stuff. And then you got to a point where you're like, all right, this isn't going to happen. Like the season's not going to happen. But I definitely I knew I had a chance of getting drafted and I snuck in the 5th round. And I'm glad that I was able to get the opportunity with the Reds and they gave me a shot.
So speaking of that day, again, a lot of people, nobody able to be inside Studio 42 or anything like that.
Right.
What was that day-by-day experience going through the draft and hearing your name called?
Oh, it was cool. I wouldn't do it the way I did it again. We did like the whole draft party. I had like extended family come out. I had my girlfriend at the time, she's my fiance now. She came to visit, and it was terrible though because you're just sitting around waiting, and like I think if I had to do it again, I would just get away from it. I'd go somewhere, I'd do something, and just get away from the whole draft because it's at the end of the day you can't control it at that point. Like it's kind of in your agent's hand, but really it's not even in his hand. It's like kind of up to the teams and whoever wants to take you. So stressful, but glad it worked out the way it did.
So you're now here in Oakland with the A's, with this group. You get your major league opportunity last year. You go into September, you see maybe the names might be brought up, and you see you might be going up to the major league club. What was it like to be told, you're headed to the majors?
That was cool. I was definitely excited. I was rolling at that point in the year. I was running the ball really well. I had took a lot of big steps last year. Made a lot of improvements. Just like mentally, I would say, and emotionally more than physically. But even physically, I made some pretty good strides. And it was great. It was fun. It was fun to get up here with this club. And like as soon as you walk in the clubhouse, like all the guys are great. Like everyone's kind of just working towards being the best version of themselves. Earning a spot or maintaining a spot or whatever it may be at that point in the season. But it was great. Everyone was super welcoming and they were excited to have me, and I was excited to be there.
So you're back out here in Arizona, here for spring training. Just 2 weeks away, essentially, from getting ready for opening day, getting yourself prepared for that.
Right.
What have you been doing to get yourself ready for wherever you might be in a couple weeks' time?
Pitching, a lot of pitching. I'm just building it up. Throwing more innings like everybody else, but. Just like slowly kind of like reincorporating like my process that I had last year, adding some of like the advanced scouting stuff and, adding in, more and more reps, and like as I'm building that workload, just like doing a little bit more and more gradually instead of just kind of jumping in and doing a bunch at once. And but really just taking it one day at a time and learning from each outing and just getting ready for 100 plus pitches. That's really the goal right now, is being able to take the ball every fifth day and go through 100 plus and whatever they need you to do.
Between a couple different seasons of summer ball, Northwoods as well as the Cape, what do you feel your experience in summer collegiate baseball, how do you feel it has helped you in getting where you are now?
Just different access to, or just less access to the resources that I have now. I didn't really have access to that stuff. Like I would say, because it's college summer ball, and like the Cape Cod League is just like it's really just like high school fields, and like with a TrackMan, like it's kind of crazy how like there's no locker room. There's like the gym's like a local gym, so you're kind of just like you're making do with what you got. I think that was big for me, just learning how to like navigate that, like playing every single day. I was a reliever then too, so I've had a taste of that, of pitching, in big moments or big parts of the game, and so that wherever my career may go, if I stay in rotation or I move to the bullpen or whatever they have me do, I do feel like that I'm equipped to be able to handle that just from the experience I had with during those times.
For current college prospects or guys that are looking to play summer ball or looking to get themselves to the next level, to the minor league level, to the major league level, what kind of advice would you give them from your experience?
That's a good question. It's kind of a loaded question because I'm really not in a position to give anybody advice. But I guess if I had to be as general as I could, you have to be honest with yourself and where you're at, like where you your physical abilities and what you can do. And if you truly believe that you have like the physical abilities to to contribute to the team right now, then I would say go get reps. Go pitch. Go hit whatever. If you feel like you have it, you just need to see more pitches or throw to more hitters. Then definitely go do it and learn how to navigate the travel. Learn how to navigate the ups and downs of it. Just having to pitch as frequently as you do in college summer ball. I think that's all very important. And if you don't feel like you're physically able to do it, whether that be like you don't throw hard enough or you don't have enough power or whatever your game may be, go work on it. Don't play summer ball. Go find a place that with someone that you trust, that you can buy into and have full belief in it, and go train and figure out how to throw harder, how to hit the ball further, whatever you feel like your deficiency is, I'd say.
Final question for you, and putting you on the spot a little bit.
Yeah.
What was your favorite wacky memory from your time in Kalamazoo?
Favorite wacky memory? Oh geez, I'm gonna expose myself a little bit. I definitely got. There was one night it was the night before a road trip. We were driving to Madison, and I had pitched that night, so I wasn't gonna pitch for like a few days. I remember I was really hungover on the bus the next day, and I remember we were sitting at lunch when we got to Madison. I had my head like in my hands like this, and I remember Cody was like, "Hey, are you feeling all right?" I was like, "No, I'm not feeling so good." He's like, "All right, man. Like you got the day off. Why don't you just relax?" Remember it wasn't that wacky. I think it was just a funny memory. I was like, okay, like that's something else you need to be able to navigate too. So there it is. Sorry, Mom.
Works out. We'll keep on the down low at least for here.
It worked out okay. So.
It works out. I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Seriously, thank you so much. Joe Boyle, current Oakland Athletic, looking to be back on the Major League roster this season here with the A's. I want to thank you as well again for your time. I want to thank everybody here with the A's as well. This has been Inside the Bear Cave here with Jaden Taylor and Joe Boyle. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Make sure to stay tuned here on the Growlers YouTube page for more content throughout this spring. I want to once again thank Joe for coming on Inside the Bear Cave. Player signings are every single Thursday with these Growlers Alumni series every other Tuesday. Make sure to check on all of the Growlers socials for updates on those. Zoo Crew tickets are available now, as well as single game promo night tickets. Go to growlersbaseball.com to learn more, with opening day just over 30 days away. May 27th, opening day for the Northwoods League season. The Growlers and Rivets matching up at Homer Stryker.